Hello friends, welcome to my channel Mummy's Viz. Today we are going to learn about the lesson called Fiber to Fabric. Friends, during the end of the video, if you like the video, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Friends, now let's get into the lesson. Fiber to Fabric. Fiber are very thin thread-like strands from which fabrics or clothes are made. Some examples of fibers are cotton, wool, silk, flax, jute, nylon, polyester and polyacrylic. The fibers are spun into yarn, long continuous thread which can then be woven on a loom to make a fabric or cloth. Yarn is a kind of long twisted thread. Yarn is made from fiber by which the process of spinning. Types of fibers. There are two types of fibers, natural fibers and man-made fiber. For example, nylon and rayon. Some of our clothes are made from yarn derived from the animal fiber. These are the types of natural fibers as they are obtained from nature. Natural fibers are the fibers which are obtained from the natural sources like plants and animals. Fibers obtained from animals. Some fibers are obtained from plants and some fibers are obtained from animals. Wool and silk fibers are obtained from animals. Wool is obtained from the fleece hair of sheep or yak, and silk fibers comes from cocoons of the silk moth. Wool. The wool comes from animal like sheep, goat, yak, camel, llama and alpaca. The wool yielding animals bear a thick coat of hair on their body, the hair which gives us wool and keeps them warm during the cold winter season. The hair, wool on the body of wool yielding animals trap a lot of air. Air spaces between the wool fiber trap air since the air is a poor conductor of heat. So, the air trapped in hair shields the body from cold and keeps them warm in winter. The hair close to a skin are hair on a body and arms are soft, and the hair on our head is coarse hair. Like us, the hairy skin of sheep has two types of fibers, that from its fleece or wool, example the coarse of bed hair and the fine soft under hair close to the skin. The fine soft under hair provide the fiber to make wool. To obtain breeds of sheep that process only fine under hair, their parents are carefully chosen. This process of selecting parents for obtaining special characters in their offspring, such as soft underhair in sheep, is termed as selective breeding. Such sheep give not only better quality of wool but their yield per sheep is also higher. Animals that yield wool. Wool commonly available in the market is sheep wool. Several breeds of sheep are found in different parts of our country. However, the fleece of sheep is not the only source of wool. There are the other sources of wool also. Other sources of wool are yak wool is common in Tibet and Ladakh. Angora wool is obtained from Angora goats in hilly regions such as Jammu and Kashmir. The underfur of Kashmir goat is soft and it is woven into the fine shawls called pashmina shawls. The fur hair on the body of camels is used as a wool. Llama and alpaca found in South America are also yielding wool. Some Indian breeds of sheep which provides wool. So friends, in this tabular column, first column is based on name of a breed and name of the sheep. And second column is based on quality of wool. Third column is based on name of the state where found. First, First one, Lohi, good quality of wool, Rajasthan and Punjab. Rampur Bushehr, brown fleece, Uttar Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh. Nali, carpet wool, Rajasthan, Haryana and Punjab. Bakwal, for woolen shawls, Jammu and Kashmir. Marwari, cause wool, Gujarat. Patanwadi, for Hosiri, Gujarat. From fibers to wool. The wool comes mainly from sheep. For obtaining wool, sheep are reared and bred. The hair is cut and processed into wool. We will first discuss the breeding of sheep. The rearing and breeding of sheep. The rearing of sheep means to look after the sheep by providing them food, shelter and health care. The persons who look after the sheep or rears are called sheepherds. Sheep are herbivores and prefers to eat grass and leaves, so sheepherds take the herds of sheep to the countryside for grazing. Apart from of the sheep grazing, sheep breeds also feed them a mixture of pulses, corn, jowar, oil cakes, material left after talking out, oil from seeds, and minerals. In winter, sheep are kept indoors and feed on leaves, grain, and dry fodder. And so the breeding of sheep is done to obtain such breeds of sheep which yield good quality of wool in large quantities. These breeds of sheep have a thick coat of hair on their body and are also called sheep of good breeds. This raises the quality and quantity of wool produced. Once the reared sheep have developed a thick coat of hair, the hair is shaved off for getting wool. The cut of wool coat of a sheep along with a thin layer of skin is called fleece. The fleece consists of soft woolen fibers. The fleece of sheep is usually kept in one place. Processing of fiber into wool. The wool, which is used for knitting sweaters, for weaving shawls, is a finished product of a long process. Processing of fibers into wool involves the following steps: processing of fibers, shearing, scouring, sorting, bulks, again scoured and dried, dyeing, and processed wool. Step 1. The fleece of the sheep along with their layer of the skin is removed from the body. This process is called shearing. The hair of the sheep is shaved off by using a shaving machine similar to the used by barbers. Shearing does not hurt the sheep because the uppermost layer of the skin of sheep is dead. The shearing cut the hair of sheep is done in hot weathering of summer so that the sheep may survive without their productive coat of hair. The hair of sheep grow again before the onset of winter and protect them in cold weather. The onset of winter and protect them in cold weather. The fleece or hair of sheep provides woolen fibers. Woolen fibers are then processed to obtain woolen yarn. Step 2. The fleece of the sheep or cut hair of sheep contains dust, dirt, dry sweat and grease, etc. So the sheet hair of sheep is thoroughly cleaned by washing with soap or detergent and a lot of water in tanks. This process is washing of sheet hair is called scouring. Scouring make the fleece of sheep clean. The scoured fleece is then dried. Nowadays, scouring is done by machines. Step 3. After scouring, sorting is done. The process of separating the fleece of a sheep into sections according to the quality of woolen fibers such as fine, coarse, long, short, etc. is called sorting. In sorting, the hair skin is sent to a factory. When hair of different textures separated or sorted, every section of wool obtained after sorting contains the same quality wool. The same quality wool obtained is then mixed together. Step 4. The small fluffy fibers called burrs are picked up from the hair. Burrs are soft fluffy fibers in wool. After this, the fibers are scoured again and dried. The wool obtained after this is ready to be drawn into fibers. Step 5. The natural fleece of hair of sheep or goat is white, brown or black in color. The white woolen fiber obtained by sorting can be dyed in different color. Step 6. The fibers are straightened, combed and rolled into yarn. The long woolen fibers are spun or twisted into thick yarn called wool, which is used for knitting sweaters, etc. The short woolen fibers are spun into fine yarn and then woven and loomed to make woolen clothes like shawls and etc. Finally, we conclude that the sheep's hair is sheared off from the body, skirt, sorted, dyed, combed and spun to obtain wool for knitting sweaters and woolen yarn for weaving cloth. The quality of woolen cloth depends on the breed of sheep from which wool is obtained. Now let's learn about occupational hazard. The woolen industry is an important source of livelihood for many people in our country. The people who do the job of sorting, separating the fleece of sheep into fibers of different qualities are called sorters. The sorters' job is very risky because sometimes they get infected by the bacteria called anthrax, which causes a deadly blood disease called sorter disease. The risk faced by people working in any industry due to nature of their work are called occupational hazard. Sorter disease is an occupational disease. Friends, that's all for today. Let's meet in another video, and our lesson called Fiber and Fabric will be continued in part 2. So friends, let's meet in part 2, and don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you, friends.